Next season's skins revealed, and the new hunter. Let's begin. Welcome back to another episode, guys. We've got a decent amount of content coming this week, as long as I'm correct about all of this. Well, this week we're getting the final push event that is the last week before the new season begins. And that means that you'll be getting more logic points, you'll be able to roll higher dice if you roll the 10 dice thingy, and a couple more things as well. We're also getting the White Day event that is essentially China's Valentine's Day, meaning that we're getting the return of 2 skins from previous White Day events, including the 80th skin for Psychologist called Layla, and the 80th skin for Patient called Majnun. They will be available in the shop for you to purchase. I believe you can get those for fragments, I'm not completely sure. And in the Spyglass store, we'll be getting the return of 2 emotes, including the emotes Blow Kiss for both male and female, and the Light Fireworks emote for both female and male as well. It's possible that this week we'll also be getting all of the adjustments that were added to the test server last week. Those include buffs and nerfs for many characters, mostly just buffs all around. There is going to be a general buff for Wu Chang that will kind of change some of his animation times and shorten his attack animations and stuff like that. Naiad is getting a general buff by the shortening of her kind of dash ability called Surging Tides. Opera Singer is going to get a general nerf where she's going to have reduced speed increase when jumping between shadows and stuff like that, and also a cooldown increase for her Shadow Leap. Painter's getting a buff where he can now paint his pictures before he gets 100% memorization of the hunter's face, and it's going to be a little bit slower whilst he paints it, and the stun will be a little shorter, but of course he can still get up to 100% and then do a second painting that will have normal stun time and normal painting time. Journalist is getting a tiny buff where she can change her rescue illusion to become a kiting one if it's the only illusion she has left. Perfumer is getting a small buff in the shortening of her animation time for using her perfume. Wildling has had a general buff, as I understand. I don't really know too much about Wildling, where they've shortened his animations and changed some of his cooldowns. I'm sure that Wildling mains will be happy about this. Aeroplanist has had a nerf to how far he can dash with his rocket dashes, but he has also had a buff in the fact that he can use his hover ability multiple times per match because it has a cooldown, as long as he has enough charges for his normal dashes. So that's interesting to see. Some other changes that we might get as well include the Insolence change, where Insolence has got buffed. Essentially, that is one of the hunter's traits that gives them presence slowly at the beginning of the match. Now you'll be able to get more presence even after the first presence, but it will be slowed down how much presence you get. I don't think it has a limit. I think you can get to full presence. It will just take you a very long time. They're adding a new hunter trait possibly this week that will be called Teleport, that should actually be called Wormhole, because we already have Teleport. Nethy's made an oopsie here. I don't really know what they were thinking. And they've made some other changes, including new rank point changes if you want to get into rank this season. I think it's going to be very cool. This week we will for sure be getting Doctor's Character Day, and we'll also be getting a piece of an announcement or something, or multiple announcements this week on March 14th, as we get to see a little bit more about Identity 5's original short animation called Arnold and Puppets. It's like a crossover, but only for an animation. I don't really know what that will affect for us. Let's talk about some rumors and some leaks and things that have been confirmed by Netties about what's coming from the general future of Identity 5. Over the weekend, we had the announcement of the Shadows ability, also known as Ivy. I got to play with her just before I recorded this video and I streamed it to everybody. She has some really exciting abilities, including the ability to summon a ghost that will then be able to move around separately from her, similar to Dream Witch. She's able to possess survivors, and then if she does do that, she can see which way they're looking with their camera, and she can also see their quick messages. That's kind of interesting. Survivors will be given a corruption meter that, as long as they're not looking at the hunter, will mean that their corruption meter stays fine or low or whatever it is. But if they look at the hunter, their meter will go up, or if they're in the radius of a certain item I'll talk about in a minute. This hunter is also able to increase the meter by jump scaring with either her ghost or herself. That's kind of cool, because this is going to be one of the first jump scare hunters we've had since Dream Witch at this point. Once the corruption meter gets to 100%, the survivor then loses control of anything they can do with their character, and instead their character model will just start walking towards the hunter. Not the ghost, but the hunter itself, meaning that the hunter can then kind of essentially stun you and then hit you. I also forgot to mention that if the ghost possesses a survivor, that survivor will then spawn a tablet where they got possessed, and then she's able to transfer or teleport, I guess, to that tablet. Around the area of this tablet, survivors will then get more corruption. So it's a bit of a complicated hunter. She has a million different abilities. I did show it on the screen right here from the clips from my stream, so hopefully that helps you understand it. She will take some time for people to get used to, but I am excited to see a ghost jump scare hunter. I think that's very cool. As we just had the new hunter announced, we also got the new skin announced for the new Essence, including the Season 31 Essence 1 skins that include the S tier skin for the Shadows called Morpheus Vestibule. We have the A tier for Embalmer called Hippocampus, and the A tier for Aeroplanist called Strange Dream. These all seem to be related to the brain or dreaming and stuff like that. We also got the announcement of Season 31's rank rewards that include the S tier accessory for Mind's Eye called Radiance, that's like a blue bottle. We got the A tier for Forward called Flash, that is spiked boots, and we got the A tier accessory announced for Guard 26 called Frozen Gear, that is essentially just cogs with ice on them. Last week I was talking about the Koa 6 skins that were announced, and we got to see what they look like in game a little bit better. We got to see Antiquarian's A tier skin Ocean Conqueror and the Dream Witch A tier skin called Skymender. These skins will both be coming on April 3rd, so we still got a little bit of time to wait, but not too long overall. If you want to see me messing around with the new hunter, as I just did a stream, well, click on the video right here where you can see me test out all of her abilities